Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome at GSD webinar. My name is Jan Barta. I will be your host today, together with my two colleagues, trusty presenters, Rose and Venki. We are using Demio platform that you all know. Also trusty for us. If you want to ask a question, you can do that right away through the chat panel. We will be running a few polls as usual on our webinars, so you can do that next to the chat tab. There is a poll, so this is where you can vote, and we would be very happy if you do so. And now let's go to the first topic, the first major topic of today, and that is news in IDEA StatiCa version 25.1. Rose, to you.
Thank you so much, Jan. I'm just going to share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you, and let's see what is new for GCC in the much awaited IDEA StatiCa version 25.1. Starting from our very favorite application, the connection application. The first one out from all the enhancements in 25.1, which we have kept as the top hierarchist one, is the multiple parametric templates. Yes, you know that there is this parametric template which is already available in IDEA StatiCa. You can now combine any number of parametric templates or standard templates and can also add operations to that one connection. Now, we all have to agree that this saves a lot of modeling time, because there are still engineers who start from scratch or start from the normal templates in all the connections. But parametric templates is that one feature in IDEA StatiCa that could really save a lot of time. In the earlier versions, we did have the parametric templates, but it was just limited to one per the connection. But now there is no such restriction. You can add n number of parametric templates or n number of operations to one parametric templates. And continuing, there are many enhancements in the anchoring part. Now let's take a look at what are those. These are specifically for the Eurocode. Now, earlier in version 25.0, we only had a few anchor types to choose from, like the straight anchor, the washer plate, be it circular or rectangular, and the hooked anchor as well. But there wasn't really a way to specify how these anchors were installed. Now, with version 25.1, that's completely changed. The whole process is now much closer to what we actually do in real projects. You can now define the installation process, whether the anchor is a post-install adhesive or a cast-in-place one. And for those cast-in-place anchors, it's not just the old types, uh, that is the old familiar, along with the old familiar washer plate and hooked anchors. We now have two new options, which is the headed studs and L-shaped reinforcement anchors, to make the anchoring setup more realistic. And moving on to the first one, that is the cast in place plates, starting with the headed studs. Now, these are modeled according to ISO 39118, which defines the model type or the material type as SD1 and SD2. And of course, all the code checks are performed in line with the Eurocode 1992-4. Then for the reinforcement, we have the new L-shaped configuration, which represents the typical reinforcement anchor shape used in our real life foundation. Again, the materials are based on EN 1992, and the code check follows 1992-4. Now, the next big improvement is on the multi-surface anchoring. Earlier, we know that when you wanted to check multiple base plates connected to a single concrete pedestal, you had to model each plate with its own separate concrete block. Now, in version 25.1, you can model one concrete block and add multiple base plates to different surfaces of it, be it on top, be it on side, or even the combinations can be done in just one concrete pedestal. This means that you can analyze different arrangements and also the load transfers within the same foundation block in the connection application, and from there, as usually, imported to the RC check option, and imported to the 3D detail to completely check the pedestal. And the next big update is on the general anchor database. Now, this is a big step forward. IDEA StatiCa is now ready for the manufacturer specific anchors. Here is a very short flow of how it works. The anchor manufacturers can now create a JSON database with their product data. You can see that in the screenshot that is attached. Earlier, there was only import from CSV. Now, there is also an import from JSON as well. So, as users, as designers, we can simply input or import that file into IDEA Statica via the MPRL editor, as you see, and it becomes part of our material library. Now, once imported, you can design and run the code checks using those specific anchors, and they will also appear automatically in your report. And also, if you're sharing a link via the viewer to your scrutinizers or to your colleagues, that would be visible to them as well. Now that we have discussed about the connection application, it's very mandatory to go to extend the same to the 3D detail as well. Let's see what's new there. The first one is the reinforcement bar anchors, available, as I've mentioned, the straight, L shape, and in U shape forms. The bond strength here is now automatically calculated based on the concrete properties that the designer has input, so you don't need to manually enter those values. There's also a dedicated material database for the same. Now, in terms of application as use cases, we know that these reinforcement bars are ideal for the facade panels, handrails, beam to wall anchoring, very common cases where cast in reinforcement is used. Now, the next improvement is on the cast in washer plates. So the washer plate anchors, they bring a more realistic representation of how loads are transferred into the concrete. The points to note here is that the shank is frictionless, and the washer plate itself is modeled as a shell element that handles the complete contact and the load transfer, exactly as defined in the design codes. You can also define the shape and dimensions of the washer plate within the application, giving you full control over the geometry, and these are perfect for the base plate anchoring for heavy steel frames or precast concrete connections as well. And now the next would be the cast in place headed studs. This is the last under the cast in place category. We have the headed studs. Now they work on the same principle as that of the washer plate. That is, the load is transferred through a circular head, also modeled as a shell element. And the use cases, typically used for seismic anchorage, bridge bearing pedestals, and also for certain beam to wall connections as well. Now, all of this comes with an expanded material library in the MPRL, so you can easily select and manage these anchors. Now, moving on to the next one, which is the post installed anchors, which falls under the secondary installation process. And IDEA now supports both reinforcement bars as well as the um, threaded rods for the same. Now, for adhesive anchors, you can define your own bond strength, and the MPRL library has also been updated to include all these materials. Now, coming to the base plate arrangement, in 3D detail, we can now model realistic standoff base plates. Now, this is a very big improvement, I would say. That means that you can just include motor layers, top and bottom nuts, and even the vertical gaps, just like how you see in real assemblies. You can choose whether the anchors behave as a hinged or as a fixed one, and you can also simulate the exact motor thickness. What's nice is that the motor data comes directly from the connection application, and the model automatically checks the right correct shear capacity for that particular setup. Now, the next big improvement would be the introduction of stub for loading. In version 25.1, 3D detail introduces a very new stub element, which is basically a short column segment that takes the full set of full six degree of freedoms, that is axial, shear, bending, torsion, all applied at a single point. Now it takes all the forces and moments coming from the node and then redistributes them naturally as in a actual realistic flow, that is through the stub to the base plate, into the anchors, and to the concrete. Now, earlier we had to apply all the forces to a single point and use a rigid base plate just to spread them, which wasn't completely realistic, or maybe it needed more assumptions. Now, the software does it for you automatically based on the actual stiffness of the stub and the plate. And also, the stub and the plate both are modeled as shell elements so that the load transfer behaves exactly in the real engineering practice, very similar to how it works in the connection application, but now directly in the 3D detail application. Now, the next improvement is I'm pretty sure that this would be of help to many engineers out there, because this is the new centrally referenced LCS. Now, you know that in earlier versions, the base plate position was always defined from the edge, which sometimes made it very tricky to move or realign your complete model. Or maybe, to put in another words, adjusting one component to would throw off the other components. If you want to make a small adjustment in the base plate, you automatically want to make the same adjustments in all the connected components in that base plate. Now, in version 25.1, the LCS can be either placed in a center point or to the edge of the or to a edge, or in other words, you can simply move or shift the entire setup, the base plate, stub, anchors, all together from one place to another, keeping everything aligned. And the next improvement is, it's a combo for both 2D and 3D detail application. That is the introduction of smooth reinforcement bars. Now, this is specifically useful for analyzing the older structures, the old structures which was 60 plus or 80 plus years older, that was analyzed using the smooth bars, can be reanalyzed using the same smooth bars using IDEA StatiCa 2D detail, and it is fully supported by Eurocode, ACI, and also there is an addition very recently that it's also available for the Australian standards. And the software here accounts for the reduced bond and anchorage. And if it is in 2D, in 2D detail, also it would check the crack behavior under the SLS check. Now, let's see what's new with the BIM link. What are the new BIM links that IDEA Statica has introduced this time? Starting with the first one, always with the steel to concrete, the steel to connection application, which is the Procon to IDEA Statica. Now, for all Procon users in the GCC, this is a great news for you. You can now take your pro-consumer analysis model directly into IDEA Statica connection application. No manual work, no remodeling required. Now, here is how it works. You start your pro-consumer where you run your global analysis. Then, with just a few clicks, you import your model to checkboard. All your geometry, loads, combinations come through automatically in groups. Now, yes, speaking of groups, we have a lot more enhancements in the checkboard this time. We'll be covering it very shortly. And here from the checkboard, you open your connection, IDEA Statica connection application, run your full code check. And once you're done, that's it. You can generate your report and then submit your deliverables. As simple as how it sounds. And now the next link is this is a completely new workflow designed typically, especially for those working with the concrete walls. And the link is with ETABS and SAP 2000 to IDEA Statica Detail 2D. Now, until now, the checking wall behavior was directly in ETABS or SAP 2000. It was limited, mainly because those are linear analysis, and effects like the compression softening of concrete, that wasn't captured accurately. That means that there is a chance of missing a critical failure zone, especially around any discontinuity regions or around any openings. And now, if you try doing this manually, that is exporting the data or using a start and time method, complete a start and time model, or even rebuilding the entire wall in IDEA Statica detail, it was a lot of extra work. Also, you'd have to spend hours in doing the same. Now, all that's gone with this new link. You can take your global analysis model from ETABS or SAP 2000, import it directly into checkboard, export it straight to detail 2D. All the geometry, loads, and materials come across automatically. Then you can design your reinforcement, define the support, and run a full ULS and SLS check for the wall, uh, which would also include the non-linear effects, just as I mentioned, like compression, softening. And a few notes that you have to be aware of when using this link is that at the moment, the out of plane loads are not transferred, since detail 2D is meant for in plane behavior. Uh, the walls have to be in one plane since this is a 2D solution, and also, as I've mentioned, the thickness of the wall element has to be uniform. Now, for concrete, when importing, if your ETABS model, if it includes stepped load case, IDEA Statica won't read all of them. So it's the best when you start importing, you split those into separate load cases before you start the import. And there's also one more point to take note. That is, when you synchronize, the ULS and SLS combination types reset. So you will need to reassign them manually again. And that's all with the BIM links as well. Now, the next would be the API developments. I think we have Venki here to take to take the mic from me. Uh, Venki, you there?
Yes, Rose. Thank you for walking us through the new features in IDEA StatiCa 25.1. Let me share my screen. So those are all not the entire feature set. There are much more. Let me quickly walk you through the rest of the updates in the features. So if you are an in-house developer, I mean, not exactly you have to be an in-house developer. If you are a structural engineer who is interested in automated workflows, then these features will be excited for you. There are a lot of improvements in the API region. There are multiple calls exposed by using which you can perform various automated workflows for you or for your organization. The first one is the connection presentation call, by which you can get the 3D view model and present it anywhere externally using this call. And the next one is the member positioning. By programmatically, you can control the rotation, the offsets, as well as the model type and the force in each member. And weld auto design, I believe everyone is already aware of this weld auto design. Now you can also use the API call in your code. And also most of the project settings have been exposed. So if you want to set default settings, you don't have to set it manually. Uh, you can use API calls for your automated flows. Just use this exposed call to do that workflow. And followed up with improvements in the report generation. There were some bugs related to PDF and word generation. Um, it has been fixed completely. We from GSD IDEA have verified those API calls of a report generation, and it works perfectly fine. So if you're stuck with it, don't hold on there. Just give it a try with the latest package. In addition to this bug fixing, buckling results have been included, as well as the app loading while you call that respective API has been removed, so that you will have faster report generations. And you can also print not only single report, but a batch of reports using these calls. And you can get the report in any language, which IDStatica supports. And the next one is the project code conversion. If you have a batch of IDEA Statica native files in Eurocode, and finally now you want to convert all these Eurocode files to American code, then you can use this project code conversion call and convert all your native files from Eurocode to US code, which will be done very soon, like within minutes. And next is the publish call, which is an interesting call. So with this API call, you can publish one connection or multiple connections as templates to IDEA Statica connection library. So how it might help you. So we have recorded a small video to help you understand how it might help you. So you have a set of pre-approved connections. Just run your code with this API call and just select the connections, your approved connections, and it might take few seconds to read the files, selected files, and then just select the design set where you want to publish, whether company set or personal set, and just select on publish. And all the approved files will be published as packages, templates to your IDEA StatiCa connection library, so that if you have your current project or any of the future project, you can go to your file without design operations and just click on propose, so that IDEA StatiCa searches for you the respective template which matches your current project or future project, and it will propose that template to your current connection, which will save you time in searching for your older templates and reusing it. So use this publish option to publish all your historic database approved connections as templates to connection library. So I uh, advise you to try it and take most benefit out of this API calls. And moving on, the checkboard workflows, we will be covering about the steel part of it, the BIM workflows. So the first addition is the new trio of items which were added to the report settings in checkboard. So now you can customize the report, like you can select the number of the connection reports which are to be included in the combined binder, which will be generated from checkboard, or you can just select all and take the combined report binder as per your need. And also you can customize the report settings like the formula description and the explanations, bill of materials, so on, etc., with one setting. And all the settings will be applied to all the connections in the trio of items by default, and your final submission ready report will be prepared. So and also the report generation time has been decreased, so you will have faster reports in checkboard. So it might be a bit difficult to understand all these points in the checkboard. So we have prepared a small video demonstration for you. We will play that. This is the checkboard where we have imported the entire structure. So when we go to the report tab, here you can see the trio of items. You can select the project information and you can just enter your project details. And you can also add an image of your project into the report. And you can add the software information if needed and if it's required, or just switch it off. In the connections, you can just deselect all. Then you can like select the respective connections which you want to include in the report, like the first group, second group not needed, fourth group not needed, and some other group is needed. It's like the sixth group, you can just switch it on. And finally, the theoretical background, if you want to add it or just switch off the box. And in addition to that, you can add sketches to each connection group, like it might act as a marking plan for that particular connection. And finally, the report settings, you can customize it and go to the brief option and the language. And you have three types of reports which can be generated from checkboard: brief, one page, and detail. We will be showing about the detailed report in this demonstration. So once you generate the report, it will give you a combined binder, submission ready binder with the structure information, followed by summary, followed by marking plan of a first group, followed by the report of the first connection, all the information and of inputs and outputs, followed by the second connection in that group, and so on, etc. So it is like a combined binder. You don't have to sit and combine multiple PDF files to make your document ready. Checkboard will does that for you. And also right side tree of items will act as bookmarks. You can just click on it to move to that respective report part in the binder. So this is a nice addition to the checkboard. moving on, the report settings, which was previously there in the report tab, have been added to the project settings as well, so that you can set the options in the project settings. So the benefit of it was like, generally while extracting the report every time, if you create a new connection, you have to customize the options as per the project requirement again and again. So now you can go to the project settings. In the output tab report, you just set your project report settings once and save it as a default. And that settings will be applied to all the connections in that project. So you don't have to set the options again and again. And this feature is available both in checkbot and as well as the connection module. And the next one is the new tool, which is called area selection tool, is added to the checkbot workflows. And now you can offset the members at the start node and end node individually, and you can align multiple members to either top of steel or bottom of steel. Like for example, if you put center to center in your global analysis model, if you import it, however, for the connection design, you want all the members to match with top of steel, then you can easily modify that in the checkbot. And also you can update or modify your members based on global coordinate system or local coordinate system. To understand this better, we prepared a small video demonstration for this as well. So let us look at this. So first is the offsetting. So we select the member. On the right side, you will see the coordinate system to which, with respect to which axis it has to be modified. Then you can assign the eccentricities as needed, and you will see the member is getting offsetted by 200 mm from the node. And similarly, you can see a tool at the top, which is new tool, area selection tool. You just drag a rectangle and select all the members in that rectangle box, and you can like deselect the members which you do not want for the modifications to be done. And you can come to the right and insertion point. You can change it to all these options like top, bottom, so on, etc. If you choose top, all members will be adjusted to top of steel, will be aligned with the top of steel. And similarly, you can offset all the members selected in one go, so that all members will move and down simultaneously. And all the changes made in the checkboard will be reflecting in the connection module as well. Since we have offsetted by 100 mm, you can see the changes in the connection module as well, since it should be. And moving on, now you can complete your entire workflow in checkboard, since the buckling option is also added. How this works means, like, as you already know, the grouping part will be done automatically by checkbot. So in each group, you will have a reference connection and dependent connections or child connections. You just have to go to reference connection. You will have an option to switch on buckling. You will just give a switch box as on. Once it's on, this buckling setting will be auto-propagated to the rest of connections in the group. And all the connections, when they are bulk analyzed, buckling will be calculated for all the nodes in that group. So as you can see, the results will be displayed in the UI of checkbot. You don't necessarily have to open the connection module. And the buckling factor, which is displayed here, is the least of the buckling value, in which most of the times we are interested in. And the next one is the addition of the status bar. At the bottom of the checkbot, if we zoomed in, we can see the status bar, which will give you clear indication of what's going on in that respective connection group when we press on calculate all. So here we can easily say that first connection analysis is done out of 3 connections, and 33% of the group is analyzed. And previously, when you press bulk analyze the connection, you might have to wait until the analysis is completed before making further changes. But now you have option to cancel the process at any point of time and do your necessary modifications and press calculate or analyze all again. And the load button, which is there on top here, was removed because all the loads will be automatically updated if your checkboard is synchronized with the global model. Then you don't have to click on any load update. All the loads which are modified in your global model will be automatically updated in the checkboard from version 25.1. So these are all the exciting new features from version 25.1. And I would, for next steps, I would like to pass it to Jan.
Thank you. Thank you, Venki. And also Rose for sharing with us the updates about the new version. We are launching IDEA StatiCa Gulf user group, already exists, gets a lot of traction, the community grows. The limitation here is that we really want to focus only on the GCC-based community. So if you're from other countries, please search for additional groups on the LinkedIn. They are there. But if you're a customer or non-customer based in the GCC and you're interested, just apply, and we will share with you tips regularly. You will not miss any important detail. With that, we are concluding our session. I would like to thank you for being with us, and we will see you at the next webinar or at the Lunch and Learn. Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care.